Well, welcome everybody to downtown San Rafael for another night of San Rafael Pacifics professional baseball. Stuart Horn and G2, your Pacifics telecasters on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 campaign on an absolutely perfect night for baseball. Heat wave behind us, baseball ahead of us on a perfect night. Right now, 76 degrees here in downtown San Rafael. Pacifics on an upswing of sorts, 2 wins, both against the Vallejo Admirals, who are here in town. And you can see the umpires going over the ground rules with tonight's managers. There's Matt Cavanaugh on the right, the manager of the Pacifics, on that 2-game winning streak. The Admirals coming in on a 4-game losing streak overall, 17-33 for the Vallejo Admirals against the Pacifics, 24-25. The Pacifics are 2 games back in the second half of the season to the league-leading Pittsburgh Diamonds. And that's something that has never happened before, that the Diamonds leading the league in anything. And here they are. Just goes to show you, G2, how good the league really is.
Yeah, it's on an uphill climb. Everybody seems to be doing better.
All the teams are very competitive. The Admirals in the house, and we're just about ready for baseball. We'll go over the starting lineups both offensively and defensively now, and G2 will bring you the line on each of tonight's starting pitchers. For the Pacifics, defensively it will be Jeremy Williams in left field. Center field with Zach Pace and Michael Hoba, the newly married Michael Hoba. He was wed right here at home plate just this last weekend before the game. In fact, Hoba, it was great. I came down, G2, part of the ceremony. Hoba looked beautiful on a hot day. Beautiful wife, seems very happy. Hoba right now in right field tonight. Jake Taylor starts at third base with Daniel Gonzalez at short. David Kiriakos will start in second base with Matt Chavez. The home run leader, Matt Chavez, at first base. Ricky Gingras behind the plate, and on the mound is Nick DeBar. The strikeout leader, Nick DeBar, with 74 Ks so far this season. And here's G2 with DeBar's line.
DeBar's 3-4, giving up 28 earned runs on 72 hits in 66 innings with 13 walks and, as you said, 74 strikeouts.
74 strikeouts. Hey, that's pretty impressive. For the Admirals, on that 4-game losing streak, will they snap it tonight, G2, or do you think the Pacifics are going to sweep them tonight? The Pacifics got to get something going here. It's winner take all in the second half, and the Pacifics are not off to that great of a start. In fact, struggling just to maintain 500.
Yeah, well, they've got to catch the Diamonds if they want any chance, because there's no way that the Pacifics are going to have a chance at the championship if they don't.
Well, that's absolutely right. I think it'd be a good time to get the Admirals while they're down, 4-game losing streak, Pacifics on a 2-game winning streak, and I think it's time to go against the Admirals. The Pacifics have a tough schedule coming up, hitting the road in Vallejo and then over in Sonoma, where the Stompers seem to be doing everything right. If you were a part of our last telecast, well, G2 and I reported all of the wonderful things that the Stompers are doing, leading the league in hitting, leading the league in just about every category, literally, with the exception of home runs and RBIs, which belong to Matt Chavez, the Pacific's first baseman. For the Admirals tonight, 17-33 overall, Jordan Berry will start in left field. Chad Bunting in center, with Lydell Mosby over in right. Glenn Walker, the third baseman, with Gadiel Baez at shortstop. P.J. Phillips will play second base with Josh Wong at first. Tyler Nordgren is the catcher for tonight's game, and Demetrius Banks will be on the mound, and G2 will bring us the line on Demetrius Banks.
Demetrius Banks is 2-3 with a 5.19 ERA and 52 2/3 innings on 68 hits, 30 earned runs, 18 walks, and 35 strikeouts.
All right, well, thank you very much, G2. Yours truly, Stuart Horn, happy to be here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 San Rafael Pacifics. The wind tonight is one of the big questions. Normally, the prevailing wind here in downtown San Rafael's Albert Park blows over the left field wall, and right-handed pull sluggers absolutely drool over that kind of a wind. Well, you can see the American flag there is blowing in over the left field wall, which tends to send some hitters, especially the home team, it makes them a little bit confused. They're just not used to it. It's such a rarity. Literally about 10% of the time, if that, does the wind blow in over the left field wall. I don't know if it's going to switch, but one thing I know is that the heat pattern this week with this amazing heat wave that we've just gone through has just thrown everybody out of sorts. G2, I know where you live it was pretty warm. Down here it's been pretty warm. And I know the players get wrung out a little bit early. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it definitely could play something. I mean, they're sweating and they're losing a bunch of electrolytes and water, and that could just be a huge problem.
Boys and girls,
yeah, absolutely. Well, but tonight the good news is they're not going to be sweating nearly as much as they have the last couple of nights, because it is absolutely perfect. And if you're around, you want to come down to downtown San Rafael and check out a game, tonight's a great night to do it. Perfect weather. We're ready for the national anthem and then baseball, Pacific style, on the Community Media Center of Marin's coverage of the 2015 San Rafael Pacifics. Here we go with the national anthem.
And brought to you by localmusic5.com, we present Thomas Stevens for this rendition of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the home of the brave. Thomas Stevens, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't remember a more incredible, more heartfelt version of the national anthem. Nick DeBar on the mound, who's getting ready for a heartfelt night on the mound. A version of Pacific's baseball, very heartfelt. DeBar, 74 strikeouts, the strikeout leader in the Pacific Association. Of course, the Pacific Association of Professional Ball Clubs, the league that the Pacifics play in. Well, there we are, everybody, on CMCM TV. Very happy to be here on this night. And I'll tell you, after the last couple of days in the heat and the sunshine, it is so nice to see a fog bank in the distance. It reminds me where we are, here in this beautiful part of California. And when you see that fog coming in, G2, isn't it so nice to know that we're going to have a nice, cool night ahead of us?
It cools everything down. It feels great.
The natural air conditioning at Albert Park. Well, one good thing about the wind blowing in over the left field wall as we watch Nick DeBar warm up, the big right-hander, sporting that red mustache, too. You know, several of the guys on the team are sporting the mustache tonight, G2. I see you're clean shaven. I'm happy to see that here in the broadcast booth. You're not growing a mustache yet, but maybe next game. By the way, fans, our next telecast, in fact, it'll be our final telecast on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics, will be August 7th. That will be it for the television schedule. But DeBar out there may get a little assist from the wind, although the wind now out in center field has died down. The flag is absolutely limp against the flagpole. But here in the broadcast booth, I can still feel it coming in from the same direction. Well, that type of wind can only help, especially a right-handed pitcher. So we'll see if it gives any assist whatsoever. The gigantic grandstands of the stadium here at Albert Park really tend to block any wind, any appreciable wind that might affect the pitch itself. Of course, with that prevailing wind that blows over the left field wall, power sluggers, right-handed power sluggers, really get a big help when they can get it up into the jet stream. All right, here we go, everybody. We are ready for Pacifics baseball. The first batter for the Vallejo Admirals, who come in 17-33, is Chad Bunting, the center fielder. Of course, the Vallejo Admirals play out of Wilson Park up in Vallejo, right on the water, and that's a spectacular venue if you've never been up there. A great big grandstand that runs all the way down the first and third base lines. But I'll tell you, there's nothing like good old Albert Park. Albert Park is just a gem, without question, in the league. Here's Bunting. DeBar and a breaking ball taken. And we are underway at 7:11 p.m. And Bunting ahead in the count. One ball on him. The righty on righty, up and in. And it's 2-0. Just the top of the first inning, everybody. It'll be Bunting, followed by Glenn Walker and P.J. Phillips. What do you think, G2? Will he be bunting? And no, he's not bunting. He's swinging away, and it's foul third base side, 2-1. You knew I was going to pull that one out. That had to come sometime. I thought I'd get it out of the way early. Pretty good crowd on hand, everybody. A lot of people here down the third base line in the 4 Points Beach Club. 2-1 delivery now to Chad Bunting. And it's right back to DeBar. It gets by him. Here's Gonzalez. He can't get to it. Kiriakos breaks toward the bag. He can't get to it. And right up the middle, Bunting is aboard with a hit. Straight back up the middle. DeBar stuck the right hand out there, G2, instinctively, but he just couldn't get a piece of it as he fell off the mound of the first base side. And there was no getting to it. It kind of just dribbled over the mound. And by the time it trickled out to second base, there was no play to be had by either Daniel Gonzalez, the shortstop, or David Kiriakos, the second baseman. Here's Glenn Walker, the third baseman, with Bunting at first. First pitch is a high breaking ball. It's bunted upon. Dug out by Matt Chavez, but back to the bag. He cannot beat Glenn Walker, and everybody's safe. And there's a bunt single, and Bunting to second base. So a bunt single from Walker, Chad Bunting to second base, and here is P.J. Phillips, and nothing going right for DeBar or the Pacifics to get started.
Batting third.
He was bunting over bunting.
Second baseman, number 15, P.J. Phillips.
Yes, he was. He bunted Bunting to second. Phillips, the second baseman, with 2 on and nobody out, and DeBar wants a new ball. Clearly it was a defective ball. That may have been the problem. It was such an in-between bunt, that was so perfect. And Chavez tried to get out there, dig it out, and then make his way over to the bag at first base. But by the time Chavez grabbed it and turned it back up to the bag, Walker was in easily. Phillips stands in. Big, tall guy, Phillips, the second baseman. Breaking ball is swung on and fouled back to the screen. The cleanup batter, Josh Wong, is on deck, but Phillips in the 3-hole with nobody out, 2 men aboard, top of the first inning. DeBar now bent at the waist, takes a little longer. Oh, and a breaking ball is poured in and had Phillips twisted up. DeBar ahead in the count 0-2. See if DeBar can settle down now. Just a flurry of activity. Those first 2 batters came very quickly. And he got him swinging with a big curveball. And Phillips is gone with a strikeout.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
One away.
Batting fourth for Vallejo, first baseman, number 10, Joshua Wong.
The first baseman, Josh Wong, makes his way out to the hitting area now. Wong. The cleanup batter with Lydell Mosby on deck stands in with 2 on and 1 down. Still no score, top of the first inning. Nick DeBar on the mound, the big right-hander. Wong cues one, first base line.
Emergency swing right there.
Just fought it off. And I know what you're going to say, G2. Wong going with the old school stirrups and stripes. Old school guys like my trusty sidekick, G2. They love that old school look. And frankly, I do too. Here's the 0-1 now to Wong. And he's got the breaking ball working. At least he's using it quite a bit, although he didn't get the call there. DeBar 1-1.
He had him fooled right there. It's too bad that wasn't in the strike zone.
Speaking of the hose high, every guy except for Wong and Pace, way out in center field, are going low with the uni pants. This just popped straight up at us. Boy, that came close. That actually, off the bat, that looked a lot closer. It ended up behind us about 20 feet, but I was watching that thing go straight up, and it looked very, very close. Wong now 1-2 with Mosby on deck. Chad Bunting at second base. Glenn Walker over at first. And Josh Wong behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bunting with a pretty huge lead out there at second base. DeBar takes a second look, and here we go. Fastball on the outside part of the plate, but he just chewed off a tiny bit too much. 2-2. Not an appreciable breeze, just enough to keep things cool, but I don't think it's really helping anybody. Certainly not the hitters. Wong stands back in. 2-2. Fastball, third base line, and just foul as Jake Taylor, the new third baseman for San Rafael, gives chase. And we'll do it again. The 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Oh, that Taylor over there at third base. He's been somewhat of a godsend for San Rafael, who over the last 4 years have struggled at the hot corner. One player after another has come through San Rafael, unable to really fill in that position. But Taylor has done a great job. He's got a cannon, and he can really hit. DeBar readies. Wong stands in, runners go. Curveball, swung on and missed. Bunting slides in safely to third, no throw. Walker on the double steal takes second. And with 2 down and runners in scoring position, here's Lydell Mosby.
We talk about Jake Taylor making an impact. My gosh. He's hitting .379 in 7 games with a home run and 7 RBIs.
Pretty impressive.
And 2 stolen bases.
Lydell Mosby, his first AB. Runners at second and third, 2 down. Fastball is swung on and missed. 0-1. Jordan Berry on deck. Here we are still in the top of the first inning. DeBar, who gave up the single up the middle, followed by what was to be a sacrifice bunt, but turned into an infield hit, has now struck out the next 2 and delivers a fastball low. 1-1 to Lydell Mosby. Mosby, the right fielder. DeBar with a breaking ball, swung on and chopped back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Taking a look at Mosby's number, a 326 hitter. 7 RBIs since joining the club 12 games ago. One ball and 2 strikes, and here we go. Oh, a big breaking ball, and he got him looking. And a pretty nice piece of pitching there by Nick DeBar in the top of the first inning. Well, a couple of hits, but no damage done as DeBar mows him down. 3 strikeouts to end things. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning. For the San Rafael Pacifics, it'll be Zach Pace, Daniel Gonzalez, and Matt Chavez. Bottom one coming up. No score right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. Bottom of the first inning. Stuart Horn with you here at Albert Park. Well, it's no score yet, but it's been an interesting beginning as the Admirals came out swinging. First 2 guys aboard with base hits, and then Nick DeBar mows him down 3 Ks in a row. It'll be Zach Pace followed by Daniel Gonzalez and Matt Chavez here in the bottom of the frame. The first pitch to Pace from Demetrius Banks with that 5.19 ERA. The big left-hander delivers a strike. Pace stands in at .267 batter. 2 home runs and 19 driven in. Hands very low, and another fastball is taken, strike 2. Banks takes just an extra second or 2 and really wings one in, but let go of it a little bit early, and it flew high. 1 ball, 2 strikes with Gonzalez on deck. Pace in that leadoff role still has 19 driven in. He tends to hit when it matters, and he slashes one down the right field line. A fair ball? No. Just foul. Well, the home plate umpire ran out after, and I thought he was indicating a fair ball. But in fact, the field ump said no. Just missed the chalk. A dramatic strike for Zach Pace, and we'll do it again. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the diminutive center fielder. Up and away, 2-2. Pair of home runs for the fan favorite Zach Pace. Been with the ball club all 4 years. Wears 24 for a very special reason. Is Willie Mays' idol. Chop to second base. Phillips up with it. On to Wong, 1 away.
Batting second for your Pacifics hands.
Daniel Gonzalez now with
Shortstop, number 12.
1 away.
Daniel Gonzalez.
Where after a couple of decent pitches there, Pace just got on top of that fastball from Banks. That Demetrius Banks out there, the 5.19 ERA may be deceptive. Right now, Banks looks pretty greased. See if he can keep that going. Gonzalez now stands in a very wide stance, and he slashes at the first pitch and fouls it back. The big slugger, Matt Chavez, is on deck, and he'll be followed by Jeremy Williams in the 4-hole. But for now, Daniel, the shortstop, Daniel Gonzalez, batting .305 with 18 driven in. And Banks delivers, and Gonzalez skies one right field. In comes Mosby, 2 away. And here's Matt Chavez.
First baseman, number 8, Matt Chavez.
Chavez, who's all over the rankings, is number 1 in home runs and number 1 in RBIs. 22 home runs and 61 driven in. Number 2 in average with 372 behind Scott David of the Diamonds. Chavez can hit the ball. Oh, Power on power fastball. Chavez with a mighty Herculean hack. Swings over the top of it, 1 strike on him. Jeremy Williams is on deck. 2 away here in the bottom of the first inning. No score. Pacifics looking for their first base knock. 61 RBIs, and this is another fastball. Fouled off the fist back to the screen. He was right on it timing-wise, nothing in 2. It's funny, G2, you can miss a pitch by, 1/8 of an inch maybe, or sometimes less. And it goes foul, and if you get it just right with that 1/16 of an inch, and it goes 400 feet. It's just so close. Here's Chavez behind in the count 0-2 in the dirt. 1-2. I have a feeling Chavez was not planning on swinging at that last pitch, knowing that Demetrius Banks would probably throw him something out of the strike zone. Once Banks got ahead in the count, 0-2, well, you're not going to serve something up to Chavez, at least not on purpose. Here's the 1-2. And he skies it first base line toward Jane's first base cafe.
He just missed that one.
He just missed the Lawrence Welk pitch. That was a 1-2. It's still 1-2. Do you know who Lawrence Welk is? All right. Well, a young man of your age probably wouldn't. He was a very famous band leader. Chavez, 1-2. 372 hitting Chavez. Here it is. Up and in, 2-2. Well, Jeremy Williams is waiting in the wings. Should Chavez do something nice, like get on base? And the way Chavez has been going, I wouldn't doubt it. 2 down, bottom 1, no score. Banks comes home. Third base line, smoked through the hole for a base hit. And I mean the hole close to the line. Glenn Walker was diving for it at third, but he just couldn't come up with it. Oh, G2. Chavez hit that ball so hard.
As usual.
First hit of the night for San Rafael, thanks to Matt Chavez. And here's Jeremy Williams. Oh, Chavez just keeps it going, G2. When you're a professional hitter, oh boy. Here's Williams, speaking of professional hitters, across the knees. Tyler Nordgren, the catcher, came out of the squat, and I think maybe he was trying to deke Chavez down there at first base to see if Chavez would consider running. I'm not sure why he came up and out of the squat. It didn't seem like Demetrius Banks missed by that much. 1 ball on Williams. High fastball is swung on and missed, 1-1. The newly married Michael Hoba is on deck. Married right here at Albert Park last weekend. A great pregame ceremony. Here's 1-1, third base line. This is backhanded by Walker. The long throw, the throw to second base, gets Chavez easily. And Williams hits into a 5-4 inning ender. Well, we'll go to the top of the second inning. No score. Admirals and Pacifics. It'll be Jordan Berry, Tyler Nordgren, and C.J. Maldonado as we go to this scoreless top of the second inning. When we come right back here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics, we'll be right back. Jordan Berry's going to lead things off here in the top of the second inning. No score, Admirals and Pacifics. Berry takes a breaking ball to start things off from Nick DeBar. 1 strike on him. It'll be Jordan Berry, followed by Tyler Nordgren and C.J. Maldonado. Top of the second. Check swing, DeBar's on it. He scoops it up and underhands it to Chavez, 1 away. And here comes Tyler Nordgren. 6 RBIs for Nordgren, batting .222 is the catcher.
Tyler Nordgren.
With 1 away. Williams in left, Pace in center, Hoba in right. Taylor at third with Gonzalez at short. Kiriakos at second base and Chavez at first. Gingras in the squat, DeBar on the hill. Nordgren, first pitch swinging. Diving for it at third is Jake Taylor. He can't get to it. It's a base hit into left field. Third hit of the night already.
Batting eighth
And
for
here's
the
C.J. Maldonado.
Designated hitter, number 27, C.J. Maldonado.
Three strikeouts, 3 hits for Nick DeBar. Maldonado has 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and is batting .246. The left-handed batting Maldonado takes a breaking ball. Indoors, 1-0. Gadiel Baez on deck. Tyler Nordgren, the runner over at first base, with 1 away. Up and away. Taken by Maldonado. 2-0. Well, the sun is starting to set, and only a couple of players left in its beams. Williams in left field, Zach Pace out there in center field. They're going to have to deal with it, but it seems like everybody else is in pretty good shape. A breaking ball is taken for a strike, 2-1. Although, if you look at third and short, Gonzalez and Taylor out there, they might have, depending on where they stand, just some sunbeams coming through the trees. This grove of trees down the first base line. DeBar comes home. Check swing is taken. 3-1, very close. My trusty sidekick G2 did not agree with the call. I think an automatic umpire may have been in order for that last pitch. What do you think, G2?
That was great, that Eric Burns and Pat Tillman Foundation robo-ump.
Of course, G2 is referring to the robo-ump the last couple of nights. Swung on and missed. And for the first time tonight, DeBar goes full. Last couple of nights, Eric Burns, the famous Oakland A's star, and now an analyst, a color analyst over at ESPN, and is his Pat Tillman Foundation, who sponsored the last couple of nights of an automatic umpire calling balls and strikes. And a breaking ball is swung on and missed, and DeBar is able to deposit Maldonado.
As Mike Kruko would say, grab some pine meat.
And there are 2 down.
Batting ninth for the
And,
Admirals.
you know, I've talked to a lot of people about G2 about the automatic umpire. So what it is a triangulation method of lasers that set a strike zone, knees to belt, and then relays the information when the ball crosses the plate back up to, in this case, it was Eric Burns sitting in the stands, or in media row, I should say. Fastball is low, snap throw down to first. Chavez applies the tag, but scurrying back in safely is Tyler Nordgren. 1 ball on him. That was a good little pop there from Gingras behind the plate because the pitch was very low. At any rate, the schools of thought are, of course, well, there's tradition and strike zones change, different characteristics of umpires versus the digital accuracy. of the laser technology, and there's a called strike. And you cannot deny the laser doesn't lie. You cannot deny the accuracy. So while some batters found it difficult to adjust, you can't argue balls and strikes. It's hard to argue balls and strikes with a computer, I guess is the point. So, G2, what's your opinion on the matter? I'm sure our listeners and viewers are dying to know what you think.
Well, I mean, it's obviously way more accurate, but I love the factor that there's different strike zones, and that's always playing a different aspect in the game.
I kind of do too. Breaking ball is taken now. 3-1. It's part of the fun of baseball, that there are no computers. Now, people say, well, what about professional tennis? Well, what about it? You know, it's an entirely different thing. This is America's pastime, and for my money, I'd prefer a live umpire. I want the call to be made, too, certainly when it's my team, and it's a close play. I want him to get the call right. But I think more often than not, the umpires do get the call right, as Gadiel Baez came dangerously close to showing up the home plate umpire on that last pitch by throwing his bat down and starting to remove his protective apparatus from his elbow, and then a called strike. Baez batting in the 9 hole, a 227 hitter with only 5 RBIs, and the runner goes first base side. Chavez has got it, and he scoops it up and takes it to the bag, 3 unassisted. Well, a 1 hit by Tyler Nordgren, but the Admirals cannot score in the bottom of the second inning for San Rafael. In this no-score game, it will be Michael Hoba, followed by Jake Taylor and Ricky Gingras. Bottom 2 no-score, CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics. We'll be right back. Stuart Horn and G2, bottom 2. Michael Hoba to the plate. Guy just got married right here at home plate last weekend. What a beautiful ceremony it was. Had the team all lined up. Each guy had a bat, and they walked. The procession came between all the players who were lining the route. Hoba and his fiance came out each from a different dugout. Hoba skies one foul top of the stadium. 2 strikes on him very quickly. And then Matt Chavez presided over the whole thing, which was really something special. Matt Kavanaugh. Not Matt Chavez. Chavez was part of the wedding party. Matt Kavanaugh, the manager, with the power vested in him by the state of California, was able to oversee the union. Jake Taylor on deck. Hoba takes 1 and 2. And it was a beautiful thing. Fortunately, while it was warm, it was still early enough in the day, and there was just enough of a breeze that nobody was uncomfortable. Certainly not. Hoba ropes one into the gap in right field. That's a base hit. Oh, he hit that hard. Lydell Mosby booted it out there in right field a little bit, but was able to stick with it. And Hoba has the second hit of the night for San Rafael, and here's Jake Taylor.
Third baseman, number 45, Jake Taylor.
Boy, Hoba really cranked that one, didn't he, G2?
Oh, yeah. Smoked it.
Got it right out there into the gap. Here's Taylor, a 319 hitter. 1 home run and 7 RBIs in 7 games with San Rafael. And he takes up and in 1-0. We're in the bottom of the second inning, everybody. Still no score. Pacifics, though, with Hova at first base and Taylor at the plate, would like to change that. This is fouled back into the parking lot, 1-1.
I really like that look. He's got nothing on his arms, no batting gloves. It looks great. Old school.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, this guy over, and he's, is he the answer? Well, in 7 games, he has proven both sides of the ball to be just great. Something off speed, 2-1 now to Taylor. Hoba's not likely to take off running, but you never know. Hoba, the wily veteran, he wasn't the 2012 MVP for nothing. Part of that is outthinking opposing pitchers. High, 3-1. Well, Demetrius Banks, a big lefty, still out there on the mound with that 5.19 ERA, and the Pacifics really want to force that number up. Gingras is on deck. Taylor, the new third baseman for San Rafael, ahead in the count, 3-1. Walked him. First walk of the night by either team, and here's Ricky Gingras. Gingras steps in, a 2.72 hitter. Five home runs and 20 driven in. Takes across the knees for a strike. That one looked pretty good. Adrian Martinez, the DH, is waiting in the wings. Still nobody out. Pacifics have 2 runners aboard here in the bottom of the second inning. Gingras, with that 2.72, has a runner in scoring position, the first Pacific to come to the plate with that luxury. A breaking ball is left high, 1-1. Hoba with the knock, Taylor with the walk, Gingras with the
knock, hopefully.
all knock and no talk. Down the middle, taking strike 2. Gingras doesn't seem too anxious to swing here at G2. I'm surprised. 1 ball and 2 strikes on him.
Well, Banks just walked Taylor on 5 pitches, so I'm sure he's not looking for anything down the middle.
Well, that's a very good point. Is Banks all of a sudden, has he lost command? Oh, brother. Not on that pitch he didn't. Foul tipped into the glove of Tyler Nordgren, and Gingras is gone. The first strikeout victim tonight at the hands of Demetrius Banks. Here's Adrian Martinez. And I think about that pitch that Gingras just went after. It was just nasty. Off speed with a ton of movement. That's a tough combo. Backing off of a 91-mile-an-hour fastball on the previous pitch. Well, here's Adrian Martinez, the DH. His first look at Banks tonight. You'll notice a lot of the Pacifics players are going with a new mustache look. A lot of them. And there's the first pitch, roped into center field, right at the feet of Chad Bunting. It gets by him. Everybody's going to score. Martinez is on his horse. He's on his way to third. The throw's coming in, and he's held up at third base. 2 RBIs for Adrian Martinez. G2 for a second, I thought he was going to go inside the park. Once it got by Bunting, who was running in as fast as he could, went do or die. Bunting went down to the shoe tops, and it got right by him and went all the way out to the wall, the 370 marker. And for a second, I thought Martinez, who just isn't quite fast enough.
Well, they say you're supposed to do whatever you can in the outfield to keep the ball in front of you, but just didn't do a good job of it there.
He really didn't. And Martinez with 2 RBIs. is able to put the Pacifics up by that margin. 2-0 here in the bottom of the second.
On the season,
David
RBIs
Kiriakos
number 16 and
with
17
a
for
foul
Adrian
back to the parking
Martinez.
lot. 1 strike on him. Martinez now with 17 RBIs after those 2. And he stands at third base, still just 1 away. Kiriakos behind in the count, 0-1, and this is a line drive back to Demetrius Banks. It hits him in the hip. He throws on to first. Got him! Kiriakos is really having a word with the umpire, and he retreats to let Matt Kavanaugh take over the discussion. All of the Pacifics and the Pacifics fans thought Kiriakos had beat it out, and I think Kiriakos thought he beat it out. And Kiriakos is not a guy to argue too much. And G2, as you know, he's a very quiet guy, but when he feels strongly about something, he will argue it, and he argued that. He thought he had it by a half a step. Oh, I wish we had instant replay at this point. Hey, you know what, G2? I wish we had the laser umpire at first base for that play.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Yeah, but then when that happens for the other team, you're not going to want it.
Well, I'm
so.
not that far ahead of things. I'm still worried about that very play, and there's the ump who made the call.
Pacifics and sponsored by Alton Construction. 24, Zach.
So Kiriakos is gone. Pace is the batter. Adrian Martinez, the runner at third after the triple. And Pace with a chance to make it a 3-0 ball game. Oh, the Pacifics. That would have made a big difference right there. Kiriakos by less than half a step. A breaking ball is taken. 1-0. Daniel Gonzalez is on deck. 2 down. 2 in on 3 knocks. Bottom of the second inning. Demetrius Banks delivers high, now 2-0. You know, on that last play by Kiriakos, what made it so close was the line drive came back and hit Banks in the hip. In fact, the trainer came out, but Banks waved her off. A high fastball is skied. P.J. Phillips gives way to Josh Wong at first, and he's got it. And Pace goes on a pop-up to 3. Bless you, friend. Well, the Pacifics with a couple of base hits, including the triple by Adrian Martinez that netted a couple of runs. And that's how we stand here as we go to the top of the third inning. When G2 and I come back, it will be the top of the order for the Admirals. Chad Bunting, Glenn Walker, and P.J. Phillips. 2-0 San Rafael, top 3 coming up. CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics. Chad Bunting will lead things off in the top of the third inning. Nick DeBar out there, the league leader in strikeouts. 74 of them coming into tonight's action. 4 so far tonight. In the top of the third. Bunting takes inside, ball 1. A base hit back in the first inning, got things started. It was right up the middle. First batter of the game. Just trickled one over the mound and onto second base. Skies one, first base line and out of play. One and one. Bunting will be followed by Glenn Walker and P.J. Phillips at top of the order. Bunting, 1 home run, 6 RBIs in 8 games, batting .375. DeBar with a breaking ball is taken. And now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. DeBar comes over the top on his release point with that curveball, and it has such a nasty look. I just can't imagine the batters being able to pick it up at all. There's another one. That was a big breaker. This is over to Kiriakos at second base, and on to Chavez, 1 away. Kiriakos and Chavez make a pretty dynamic right side of the field. Of course, you have Danny Gonzalez at short and Jake Taylor, the new guy, at third base. And Taylor has really shored up the infield here for San Rafael. And if the San Rafaels want to compete in the second half, they needed to make a move. Here's Glenn Walker. Big curveball is swung on and missed, and Walker way out in front of it. Strike 1. Well, bunting did not bunt, but last time up, Glenn Walker did bunt, but he didn't walk. Just FYI. He was stranded at second base back in the first inning, and he takes a strike here. 0-2. Hey, we're trying to keep it fun up here, G2, you know. P.J. Phillips is on deck. Walker, a 2.56 hitter with 17 driven in. 1 away, nobody on. DeBar delivers across the knees. Goodbye. As Glenn Walker is the 5th strikeout victim of the night. Got him looking 2 away.
Now batting for Vallejo, number 15, P.J. Phillips.
And P.J. Phillips now. The big, tall, lanky one. He was the first strikeout victim of the game for Nick DeBar. G2 is keeping track of DeBar's. He's going to hit 80 tonight easily in the dirt. Well, he had 74 coming into the game. He's at 5 so far. P.J. Phillips could be the 80th strikeout. You never know. P.J. Phillips is one of those guys with a gigantic strike zone, too. He's just such a big, tall guy. Josh Wong, the cleanup batter, is on deck. Phillips holds the hands very high, kicks into the swing, and he's got a base hit into left field. Two down, and Josh Wong, who was also a strikeout victim in the first inning. After the first 2 guys reached, DeBar then was able to strike out Phillips, Wong, and Mosby in order to end things. And Josh Wong batting in the cleanup spot. 5 bombs, 27 driven in, and a 253 hitter. With P.J. Phillips, the runner at first base, and 2 away. Leans back, stretches out the lower back. And a fastball is swung on and missed. 1 strike on him. Lydell Mosby is on deck. Wong, who went after that last pitch just on the outside black. Oh, that was close. It's a great pitch by DeBar. He had to swing at it. 0-1. Breaking ball, swung on over the top of it, 0-2. And DeBar is mixing things up nicely now, G2.
Yeah, he's settling in, and he's looking really good after those 2 singles to start off the game.
Josh Wong behind in the count. 0-2. Got him. 80th strikeout of the season by the big right-hander DeBar. How about that? Got him swinging right over the top of just a funky curveball. Man, oh man, oh man. Well, that was really something. And speaking of something, we're going to go bottom 3 for a little something from San Rafael. Daniel Gonzalez will lead things off. He'll be followed by Matt Chavez and Jeremy Williams, the 2-3-4 batters for San Rafael. It's a 2-0 ball game in favor of the home team, the San Rafael Pacifics. You're watching the Pacifics right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 San Rafael Pacifics. Will be right back. Well, Daniel Gonzalez is going to lead things off here in the Pacific's half of the third. A 2-0 ball game. And a fastball is swung on and missed. Strike one. Gonzalez batting .305 with 18 driven in, a fly ball to right field. His one at-bat tonight back in the first inning. And here we are, bottom three. 2 runs on 3 hits for San Rafael. 4 hits for Vallejo, but no runs to show for it. Chavez on deck. Gonzalez skies one foul. And there are quickly 2 strikes on Denny.
Yeah, they changed the band again.
Banks delivers a little high. And a tough take by Daniel Gonzalez. 1-2. Bottom of the third inning. Banks, a breaking ball, is skied right field. Wind's got it into center. Bunting backs up, and he makes the grab. Well, it looked like it took off to dead right from my angle, but as the wind has shifted closer to center field, left field wall, and Danny got a good piece of it, but just a long fly ball for an out. And here's Matt Chavez. Well, Chavez is the guy. He leads the league in home runs. He leads the league in RBIs. Had a single back in the first inning, 1 for 1 tonight. First pitch swinging up the middle. A tough play to Phillips at second, on to first, and he got him. Chavez is out 4-3, 2 away. Very quickly, here's Jeremy Williams. Williams and I, tonight before the game, we're talking about golf, G2. I know you're a big golfer. Williams wants to get into golfing a little bit more. You know, it's fun when you play golf with a professional athlete from another sport, especially baseball players. I played with a lot of the guys on the Pacifics team over the last couple of years. Guys like Dan Rogers and Chase Fontaine, these guys can hit the ball 10 miles, maybe more. And it's funny how the athletic prowess sort of translates as a high fastball is swung on and missed by Jeremy Williams. Mikel Hoba is on deck. Although I've not played golf with Williams, it was fun to talk to him about it. And I imagine if he hits a golf ball, anything like he hits a baseball, and there's an example of a mighty slash as this one goes foul first base line.
Hit the play structure.
All the way out to the play structure? I'm glad it's closed to kids right now. During baseball games, they take the kids out of there. That would not be good. 0-2. Very high as Demetrius Banks, the big lefty, is working very quickly now. 1-2. But it would be fun to play with Williams because I bet he could hit a golf ball a long way. He hits a baseball a long way. Swings at a high, hard one. And the Pacifics go quietly here in the bottom of the third. As Williams is the second strikeout tonight for Banks. Well, that was quick. Hardly the same as the second inning, but we will go to the top of the fourth. And it will be the 5, 6, 7 batters in Lydell Mosby, Jordan Berry, and Tyler Nordgren. 2-0. And you're watching it right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 San Rafael Pacifics. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to CMCM's coverage of the 2015 San Rafael Pacifics. Well, it's a 2-0 ball game on a perfect night for baseball. Very little breeze, nice and warm, muggy out here. Just right, just sticky enough. There's a broken bat over to short. Scooped up by Gonzalez, 1 away. as Lydell Mosby leads things off. Here's Jordan Berry. We're in the top of the 4th inning, by the way. 2 runs on 3 hits for San Rafael.
For the Admirals, number 40,
No runs
Jordan
on 4
Berry.
hits for the visiting Admirals. Nick DeBar has racked up 5 Ks so far. Check it, 6 Ks so far. 2 of them looking. Jordan Berry, second at bat, 0 for 1 on the night. First pitch swinging. Pops it straight up. Gingras gives way to Matt Chavez, who makes a basket stab and is able to grab it. A pop up to 3. Chavez, whose
Now batting for Vallejo.
offense has never been better, has been criticized for his defense, but that looked like a pretty good play there, G2. Here's Tyler Nordgren with 2 away. That's a nice little pick-me-up for Nick DeBar, because that thing could drop easily as Gingras was coming in. It was right between first and home. A very difficult play. That thing drops, and then maybe Berry gets on. Who knows? But Chavez makes a gem. Made it look easy, and Nordgren takes a breaking ball, 1 strike on him. CJ Maldonado is on deck, 2 down here. This game is going by very quickly, only 1 hour old now. Here we are in the 4th inning. Nordgren takes low and away. 1-1. And just as I say, the wind's dying down, I look out at the American flag, and now it's totally unfurled and blowing pretty hard. It's a straightaway center field. And this is slashed into right field, a base hit. Michael Hoba is there. And Tyler Nordgren is aboard with the 5th hit of the night for Vallejo. And that brings up C.J.
Now batting for
Maldonado.
Vallejo, number 27, C.J. Maldonado.
Well, and DeBar's looking pretty good. Will we see Dan Chuggy Rogers tonight? Perhaps. You never know. See if the Vallejos can get into the Pacific's bullpen. Nordgren, the runner at first base. Here's Maldonado. Maldonado, a strikeout victim. Last time takes strike 1. Gadiel Baez is on deck. Maldonado, 1 home run and 4 driven in. A .246 batter for the Vallejos. Admirals 17-33 this season. Breaking ball is slashed into right. That gets down for a base hit. Hova's got it. Strong arm into second base. And Nordgren doesn't even think about rushing over to third. Maldonado aboard at first. And here's Gadiel Baez. So after the first 2 batters go down, the next 2 with knocks.
In the same exact spot, it seemed like, Stu.
Yeah, you're right. The ball landed in shallow right field within 8 or 10 feet of that of Tyler Nordgren. Gadiel Baez now, who chopped one over to Matt Chavez at first base back in the 2nd inning. Chavez took it to the bag, unassisted. 2 on, 2 down. Chopped right in front of home plate, foul.
Folks, we are celebrating a birthday here tonight, and the Pacifics would like to wish a happy 20th birthday to Matt Prandy Bories. Happy birthday, Matt.
5 RBIs for Baez, 227 batter. The lefty in with 2 on. Baez looks over to Gingras. Takes the sign, he likes it. Here's the 0-1. Fly ball, first base side. Chavez is there. Chavez punches the glove and he's got it. Gadiel Baez twice knocks it over to Matt Chavez for the unassisted out. And the threat has ended. We'll go bottom 4.
All right,
San Rafael
fans,
to the
it's
plate.
bottom of the fourth, and you know what that
Michael
means.
Hoba,
Everybody on
Jake
your
Taylor,
feet. It's
and
time
Ricky
for the
Gingras,
YMCA,
the
sponsored by Marin
5'6'7"
YMCA.
hitters for
Everybody
San Rafael.
dance.
When we come back, right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics. We'll be right back. Well, the gentle Cuban slugger has made his way out to the hitting area. Baseball is a beautiful thing. It certainly is. There we go. And Mike Hoba stands in and takes a strike. Well, it's a 2-0 ball game, everybody. Stuart Horn, yours truly, and G2, my trusty sidekick. To my immediate right, your CMCM broadcasters for tonight's game on Channel 30 on Comcast and AT&T Channel 99. 1-1 to Mike Hoba. Demetrius Banks, the big left-hander, still throwing hard, 2-1 here in the fourth. Hoba, 1 for 1 on the night with a run scored. Had a single to right field. And this is fouled first base line and hits the top of the fence and makes its way over to Jane's First Base Cafe. And now it's 2-2. Jake Taylor's on deck. He'll be followed by Ricky Gingras. Hoba, a .294 batter. 3 bombs and 26 driven in. Ooh, it almost hit him in the foot. I think it did hit him in the foot. And Hoba's going to take his base. Hoba wears that protective gear on his left ankle, and now the umpires are going to have to talk about it. Oh, this is where we could really use instant replay, G2. Did it hit him or not? Now the umpires talked about it, and they're not going to let Hoba. I've already marked it on my scorecard that Hoba gets to take his base. Well, I guess not. Hoba's one of those guys. I know all ball players that, say, hey, it hit me, but Hoba would never lie. And the fastball, subsequent, sends Hoba down to first base anyway. So, regardless of whether it actually hit him or not, Hoba is aboard at first base. And the way the Pacifics look at it, G2, they just took one more pitch out of the arm of Demetrius Banks.
Exactly, and he still gets to go to first base. Doesn't matter.
Jake Taylor will stand in now. Nobody out. Bottom 4, 2-0 San Rafael. A man on. Taylor first pitch swinging center field. To his left is bunting. He's got it, 1 away. Here's Gingras.
Now batting your Pacifics, number 25, Ricky Gingras.
Taylor got a good piece of it. He just missed the fat part of the bat. Maybe about an inch out off the end of it. Gingras, the first strikeout victim for Demetrius Banks tonight. With Adrian Martinez on deck. One away, Gingras, the left-handed batter. First pitch, slashing to shortstop. On to second for one. Over to Wong. Double play. And there go the Pacifics. So Hoba was the out over at second, and Gingras on the back end of the double play. And that hurts. A leadoff single turns into a whole lot of nothing. We will go now to the fifth inning in this 2-0 ball game. And for the Admirals in the top of the frame, it will be the top of the order. Chad Bunting, Glenn Walker, P.J. Phillips will be right back on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 San Rafael Pacifics. Top of the order for the Admirals, who trail in this one by a score of 2-0. Chad Bunting to the plate. Bunting 1 for 2 on the night. Stranded at third base back in the first inning. And then a ground ball to David Kiriakos in the third.
But has not bunted yet what we are waiting for.
Yet he has not bunted yet. Will he be bunting here? We'll find out. Bunting at the plate. And not bunting, but swinging. Daniel Gonzalez on a backhand at shortstop. On to first. Bunting is gone. Here's Glenn Walker.
Now batting for the Admirals, number 13.
Pretty slick move over there at shortstop by Daniel Gonzalez. Huh, G2?
That's always a hard play when it's hit right into the 5.5 hole, and you just have to get over there and you have to set your feet and make a good throw.
Yeah, that's a very good call. From deep, you're right. He was deep in the 5.5. Here's Glenn Walker. 17 driven in. Walker 1 for 2 on the night. He reached base back in the first inning on a bunt into no man's land up the first base line. Had Chavez breaking in on it, but then nobody covering the bag. Walker, pretty quick runner, was able to beat it out easily. A strikeout victim back in the third. And takes a breaking ball, 1-1.
Your attention, please. I still need John.
P.J. Phillips is on deck.
Base dugout area for musical chairs. John to the Pacific's dugout.
And DeBar bent at the waist with Walker swinging over the top of a massive curveball. That was big. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Walker struck out looking in the third. One and 2. DeBar now. Oh, just tried to bite off the outside part of the plate. Does not get the call. 2-2. 2 runs on 3 hits for San Rafael. 6 hits for Vallejo, no runs. 1 away, and Walker's in there. 2 and 2. Here it is. Foul tipped into the glove of Gingras. He's gone. 2 away.
Now batting.
Well, here's P.J. Phillips.
Number 15, P.J. Phillips.
And by my count, G2, that's the 81st strikeout for the leading Nick DeBar. Came into tonight, fans, 74 strikeouts, now sitting on 7. Holy cow. DeBar is just mowing them down. Only 2 of them looking. Here's Phillips. 2 away. Oh, Phillips stepped away from something off speed. Right over the top, 1 strike on him.
Well, they say 200 strikeouts in a 162-game MLB season is really good, and he is way ahead of that pace.
Yeah, 3-month season here in San Rafael. As Phillips takes 1-1. Boy, that was close. Of course, Phillips struck out back in the first inning, had a base hit in the third. Josh Wong, the cleanup batter, is waiting in the wings, but Phillips in the 3-hole, a 313 batter, 6 bombs and 32 driven in, takes across the knees, 1-2. Oh, how could he take that pitch? Just looks so good. Top of the 5th inning, 2-0 San Rafael. Phillips stands back in. Oh, got him looking. Backdoored him.
Fans, we've now arrived at the Marshall
Holy
Motor
cow.
Grand Slam inning.
He brings the splitter in from the outside, broke just across the black on the outside part of the plate. And the Admirals go 1, 2, 3, and DeBar is bringing it.
It's also time for musical
Bottom
chairs,
of the
sponsored by
5th
Roadside
inning is
Barbecue.
coming up.
Roadside serves authentic
San Rafael will be
barbecue in
sending
Hardeman
the
County.
8-9-1 batters in Adrian Martinez, David Kiriakos, and Zach Pace. When we come back, right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics, will be right back, 2-0 San Rafael. With 17 RBIs, Adrian Martinez is going to lead things off, and he takes for a ball. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning, everybody. 2-0 San Rafael. Clinging to that lead. They picked up a pair in the 2nd inning. I'd like to add a little more right here. Martinez takes across the knees, 1-1. David Kiriakos is on deck. He'll be followed by Zach Pace. Bottom 5. Well, the Pacifics went very quietly. Back in the bottom of the 4th, 1, 2, 3. Of course, Gingras hit into the double play, and that seems to speed things up. And a foul tip into the glove of Tyler Nordgren. He pinches on it. 1-2. Martinez DHing. Had a 2 RBI triple back in the 2nd, and that's been the difference. And he skies one, first base line and out of play.
These Pacifics at-bats are brought to you by Robert C. Plasak and Associates Insurance Services.
As all the kids go chasing after it for a free souvenir.
Yeah, those foul balls. And then they have the players sign them after the game. It's kind of exciting. This one's hammered to short. Scooped up by Gadiel Baez, and Wong can't hold it at first. Adrian Martinez is aboard for the 2nd time tonight, thanks to the error by Josh Wong on the back end of a pretty tough play. Baez at short needed a little help on the back end, and Wong couldn't give it to him. Here's Kiriakos. First error of the night by either squad, G2, and I think they're going to give the error to Wong at first base, not on the throw. Gotta be. Kiriakos is 0 for 1 on the night. Chopped one back to Demetrius Banks on the mound back in the 2nd inning. Just his 2nd at-bat. He takes up and away, 1 ball on him. Zach Pace is on deck. First error of the night right there by either team. Kiriakos skies one, 2nd base. Phillips is back on it. Phillips is under it. Phillips has got it. And Martinez scurries back to the first base bag.
Now batting for your Pacifics and sponsored by Alton Constructions, number 24.
One away.
The Zach Attack, Zach Pace.
Martinez at first, and here's Zach Pace. Pace 0 for 2 on the night. A fly ball, a very high pop-up actually. Back in the 2nd inning, and a grounder in the 1st. Pace is due, batting .267. 19 driven in. A breaking ball is left upstairs, 1 ball on him. Daniel Gonzalez is on deck.
Whenever that happens, right?
Pace, the fan favorite, with the hose high, takes a fastball a little low. 2-0.
He's another guy who sports the no batting gloves. Just an old school guy.
Yeah, Pace is, here's the funny thing about Pace. Each season, as he takes across the belt, 1 strike, Pace, at the start of the season, he stopped shaving. So, on opening night, Pace was clean shaven. Now, well, what is he, 2 months into it? Pace has got a good scruff going. And he takes strike 2. 2-2. Let's see, 19 driven in with 2 home runs for Pace. And he's got some pop. Fouled off. 6th pitch coming up. Pretty good crowd on hand. Lights fully illuminating good old Albert Park. And this is skied toward the light standard on the third base line, and it's just out of play. Oh, brother. Glenn Walker dove for it out there, and I mean, he dove for it. And it's the kind of dive where you knock the wind out of yourself on a ball that I cannot imagine he could catch.
We did make a great effort on it and got pretty close.
You're
That was
not kidding.
Great.
A little, he's a little over the top. He could have hurt himself. It was that kind of a dive. But, gamer.
Reminds me of Derek Jeter when he dives into the stands and gets all cut up.
Yeah, it's exactly that type of move. A little high to Pace, and now it's full. Martinez, the runner at first base with 1 away. Pace, a full count as the moon is just peeking out over the cloud bank out in deep left field. Of course, the cloud bank is in deep left field. Pace back to the pitcher as the runner goes. It gets right into the hands of Demetrius Banks, who then heaves it into center field. He had Adrian Martinez by a lot. Martinez had left. It was a hit and run, and Martinez was on his way. And Pace, right back to the pitcher,
Daniel Gonzalez
officially reaches as a result of a fielder's choice. Martinez reaches second base on an error on the overthrow by Demetrius Banks, and it was an ugly one.
Well, you say that he had Martinez by a mile. Pace was barely even out of the batter's box by the time he got the ball. So that would have been an easy double play.
It certainly would have. It got back to Demetrius Banks in a big hurry. And it was one of those plays that was just, maybe it was just so easy that he sort of froze and shanked it. He really did. He had Gadiel Baez, the shortstop, covering at second base, as now a mound visit from
Tonight
Templeton
is
2.
Pacifics intern James. Last game with the Pacifics.
What happened?
He is down at our scorers table.
Yeah, the moon over the left
He
field
would
wall.
like to
Hey,
thank
can we get a
everyone
shot
in
of
the
the moon up there?
organization, The front office,
Just
the
peeking
stadium
through
ops,
the
game
fog
day
bank.
staff, the players, and all you fans. He has had a wonderful time working here.
I wonder if
and
our
wishes the
cameramen are
Pacifics
listening.
The best of luck with the remainder of the season. Good luck to you, James, and thanks.
I know we're all
for
on the
your
same
hard
network.
work.
Well, if the camera ever gets a chance to look over the left field wall, you can see the moon peeking through the fog banks. And it's a beautiful sight. Well, take my word for it, fans. How about that? Runners at first and second base. Pace at first, Martinez at second, and the first pitch to Daniel Gonzalez is slashed into the 30-foot high screen on the first base line. 1 strike on him. The big slugger, Matt Chavez, is on deck. 1 away, 2 on. Pacific's mounting a charge after 2 errors committed by the Admirals in this half inning alone. Gonzalez takes high, 1-1. Banks is going to have to slow things down, G2. Gonzalez closes his stance and drives one first base line and just foul. 1 and 2.
And we have
Oh, that was
another birthday
close.
being celebrated tonight,
Well, he
and
is
this
going to have to
one
slow
of our
things down if he
own.
wants to stay in the
You may have
game.
met our tall,
Yeah,
good-looking,
minimally.
very
Just to
quiet
stay in the
ticket
game, he
booth
better slow
operator,
things
Mason
down and get his
Dean.
act together, because
And
right
tomorrow,
now the
Mason
Pacifics,
turns 20.
with
So happy
one
birthday,
away.
Mason Dean.
There's our shot of the moon, and that was it. But it was really quite dramatic. Gonzalez stands back in 1 and 2. Actually, that camera angle is more dramatic than it looks here. That was really cool with the light standard in the foreground. I wouldn't mind seeing that again, director. Banks, Bennett the waist. A critical moment in the game with 1 away and 2 on. Chavez on deck. And Denny to short. Backhanded by Baez, and he muffs it! And all Demetrius Banks can do is smile. And the bags are jammed for the big man.
Matt Chavez.
That's 3 errors. All runners on base have reached by error. That's crazy.
Martinez at third, who reached first on an error on the throw to Josh Wong and then made it to second base on the overthrow by Demetrius Banks. Pace, who on the back end of that whole play reaches as a fielder's choice. He's now at second base. Danny Gonzalez stands at first base, and that was a hit. Credited with a hit, Matt Chavez, the lead leaguer in RBIs, the lead leaguer or league leader, however you want to look. He might be the lead leaguer in home runs. Stands in, and he's ahead in the count. 1 ball on him.
And immediately someone gets up in the Vallejo bullpen.
And this is fouled back into Kirby Cove. Chavez even in the count, 1 and 1. Gonzalez at first, Pace at second. Martinez at third with 1 away. 2-0 San Rafael. And the biggest, baddest slugger in the league at the plate. Demetrius Banks on the mound, the big left-hander with a 5.19 ERA. Williams on deck. Skied at first base side. Josh Wong on the move. And it drops. Wong had a beat on it, and it was short of the Pacific's bullpen. But where the field maintenance equipment is, just beyond the Budweiser dugout club on the first base side, Chavez dropped it in that area, and Wong couldn't get to it. Bases loaded. Chavez, 1 and 2. And he fists one foul.
He's all over it. He's just missing these by probably a 1/16 of an inch on the bat.
Chavez steps out and adjusts everything. He wants to be just right. Chavez, he's got the single season record, having tied it on July 23rd, and then at 19 home runs. Now he's on a 22 home run pace. No, he's on 22, with 13 of them alone just in July. Low in the dirt, and it's 2 and 2. Chavez batting .372 overall. 61 driven in. He's 1 for 2 on the night. Tough part of the order for opposing pitchers with Chavez, Williams, and Hoba, the 3, 4, 5 batters. Bases loaded, and the moment tends to increase in its drama, and now a mound visit from Tyler Nordgren. And they're going to have to mix things up. Pace out there at second base could very well be sending signals into the batter, Matt Chavez. Pace, a wily veteran, is probably, or likely, or perhaps, I'm going to give him the credit and say probably, picking up the signs from Nordgren and then flashing them back to Matt Chavez at the plate. Much the same way the Giants were accused when the Bobby Thompson hit the big hit. Fastball is slashed down the third base line, and just as G2 said, he just missed it, 2-2. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up. Chavez has been all over it. Oh, that one was so close. 2-0 San Rafael. There's the big slugger. And with the Giants AAA organization last year, leading the Pacific Association in all of the meaningful hitting categories, and he blew it by him with the bases loaded. Are you kidding? And the crowd can't believe it, nor can I. 2 away.
Neither can Chavez. He's kicking himself after that one.
Can you imagine that, G2? What a golden opportunity now, 2 down. Here's Jeremy Williams to pick him up. Bases loaded, now 2 down. Hoba's on deck. Fastball, power on power, and Williams is behind. 1 strike on him here in the 5th. Barry, Bunting, and Mosby from left to right for the Admirals. Williams, 7 bombs, check swing at a high, hard one. 2 strikes on him. 35 driven in. He's 0 for 2 on the night. 299 hitter is Williams. And he reached for it and got him. And Demetrius Banks gets out of a gigantic problem. That was a grand slam inning here as well. And everybody in the grandstands would have gotten a pizza or something. It had one of those 2 guys hit a grand slam. Sorry, fans. That's the way it goes. Demetrius Banks somehow gets out of it. 2 errors. Just in the half inning, the base is loaded, and he gets Chavez swinging, and he gets Williams swinging, and that's incredible stuff. We go top 6. It remains 2-0 for the Admirals. It will be the 4, 5, 6 batters in Wong, Mosby, and Barry when we come back right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 San Rafael Pacifics. Back, everybody. Top of the 6th inning in this 2-0 ball game. Well, the San Rafael Pacifics really had a golden opportunity there in the bottom of the 5th. With the bases loaded and their 2 best hitters at the plate. Here's Josh Wong. Oh, they just couldn't get it done. Will that come back to haunt the Pacifics? Well, let's hope not. DeBar still throwing strong to Josh Wong, and Wong takes with the fastball for a strike. It'll be Josh Wong, Lydell Mosby, and Jordan Berry here in the 6th inning. And this is fouled straight back to the top of the stadium, and it just gets back into the parking lot. And very quickly, 2 strikes on Wong, a 2.53 batter with 5 bombs and 27 RBIs. Wong has struck out twice tonight. Back in the 1st and to end things in the 3rd. And he does so here with a big, funky curveball from DeBar. And he's, well, 3 in a row tonight.
The old hat trick.
Got himself a hat trick, and that's the way to lead off the 6th. Good news for DeBar and Pacifics fans. Here's Lydell Mosby. Mosby 0 for 2 on the night. He went down looking to end things in the first inning. Mosby the tallest player on either squad, although DeBar's right there. And he takes a strike. DeBar's mixing in the fastball and then just a nasty curveball.
He has 9 strikeouts tonight and only threw 5 1/3.
And he's working on another one here, quickly ahead in the count 0-2 to Lydell Mosby with Jordan Berry on deck. 1 away here in the 6th inning. Still a 2-0 ball game. Just 4 hits for San Rafael, 6 hits for the Vallejos, but no score for the Admirals. 0-2, curveball, back to the screen. And DeBar is throwing a lot of strikes right now, G2. Mosby, just 12 games with the club, has produced quite a bit. A couple of home runs, 7 RBIs. And he swings at a fastball that was way outside. And that's the 9th strikeout of the night. Check it, the 10th strikeout of the night for Nick DeBar. How about that? He's got 84 on the season, leading the league. 10 strikeouts so far tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Jordan Berry.
7, 8, 9, 10 of them. That is really amazing. And here's Jordan Berry. 10 strikeouts? We're not even through 6. 7 games with the Vallejos for Berry. And he rips the first one to short. Danny Gonzalez is there, and a strong throw, and the Pacifics are looking pretty tough right now, G2, as Jordan Berry goes down on 1 pitch, 6 to the covering 3. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Score remains 2-0.
All right.
It'll be Michael Hoba, followed by Jake Taylor and Ricky Gingras, the 5, 6, 7 batters for San Rafael. In the bottom of the 6th when we come back, right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics. Bottom of the 6th inning, here comes Michael Hoba. He's coming right now. Well, Hoba stands in. And speaking of standing in, here comes the GM and team president, Mike Shapiro. You're going to see him here in a moment. Hi, Mike. There you go.
Hello, Stu. How are you this fine, beautiful evening for baseball?
Is this a great night for baseball? Can you imagine with the moon and the whole thing, the fog bank especially, which is really nice, as Hoba stands back in 1-1. As Demetrius Banks delivers a fastball, and Hoba skies one to center field, but bunting in perfect position. Boy, Hoba just missed it, Mike.
Well, Hoba has been waking up. He's been going through a slump for the last couple weeks or so. He's been struggling at the plate, and we've seen a lot more life out of his bat, and he seems to be kind of hitting his way out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have President and General Manager Mike Shapiro to my right, Stuart Horn, yours truly. 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's a 2-0 ball game. Well, what an exciting game so far. Great pitching. Then you had the bases loaded with the big sluggers up in the last half inning. Pacifics had a real chance to run away with it, but it's one of those things. It's tough to get it done.
Well, Demetrius Banks, let's not forget, he's a very, very polished pitcher. He's been around for a long time and in the independent leagues, and he's got a good, lively fastball, and he breaks a curveball off every once in a while.
Jake Taylor stands in, and
like then.
Holy cow! A big breaking ball is swung on and missed. 1-1. Here in the 6th.
How about Jake Taylor? Huh?
Man, I've been talking about it in the last couple of telecasts and tonight earlier in the game. Is he the answer? So far, what is he, 7 games in? He looks pretty good.
Well, we've had a big hole at third base. We've been trying a lot of things.
Fastball is taken across the knees, 1-2.
We've tried a lot of players there, and we just haven't found the right guy to fill that third base position. And when Jake became available, I jumped on it immediately because I saw not only his defensive numbers, but the kind of offense he can generate.
Gingras on deck in the dirt. Now it's 2-2. Taylor stands in, a .319 batter. 1 bomb, 7 driven in just 7 games with San Rafael. Where'd you pick him up?
He was playing in the Pecos League, and through, there's a network of people that we talk to about accessing players. And Jake, along with Lupe Barrera, who we picked up as well for the bullpen,
takes inside now, just buckles back, 3-2.
And they were both available, and we made a deal for them, and been as happy as can be with the play from both of them. But particularly Jake, who's just done a great job at third base.
1 away, full count. Fly ball. Tell it goodbye. Go to home run.
Tell it goodbye.
Jake Taylor. Mike Shapiro shows up on CMCM, and Taylor goes deep over the center field wall. Well, it's 370 around the area where he hit it. He just pulled it a tiny bit off of dead center. That was going to fly the 370 and then some, Mike. He got a good piece of that. And you're just talking about it. Is he the answer? Pacifics fans can go all the way back to hammering Henry Calderon at third base in 2012, and Taylor's a different animal.
Well, as you can see, he's got incredible power, and he's got plate discipline, and we couldn't have been happier to get him. Now, mind you, where he hit that ball, the ball doesn't ordinarily carry.
That's absolutely right. This is slashed down the third base line by Ricky Gingras, a foul ball out on Anderson Drive, 0-1.
And again, the Pecos League is a league that is known for, it's very hitter-friendly, so you sometimes can't trust the statistics. And but he had put up some incredible numbers.
Gingras chops one third base side, a tough play. To his left is Walker, on to first, 2 away.
I think watching this game too, you have to give a tip of your hat to the great job that Nick DeBar has been doing out on the mound.
Absolutely.
And he has come very close. I don't know the exact number, but he's within 12 or 14 strikeouts of the Pacific Association record.
10 tonight, 10 Ks tonight, 84 total to this point in the season. He's right there. Here's Adrian Martinez. Pacifics 2 down, 1 in on the big bomb by Jake Taylor. Oh, did he kill that thing? And this is in the dirt. Martinez takes 1-0. Talk about Martinez so far, Mike.
Well, Adrian Martinez, also a veteran of independent baseball, and has been around for 6-7 years bouncing around independent ball. And we signed him out of Southern California as a backup catcher.
Banks brings it up and in, 2-0.
And he had the reputation of a guy who could play a little third base, a little first base, backup catcher, but he had a good lively bat, so he could also help you, with the lumber. And he's also just a wonderful clubhouse guy. So he's been a great addition to the team.
17 RBIs, and this is skied right field. Backing up is Mosby. Now he's camped under it. And that'll do it. Well, in the half inning, 1 hit, but it was a big one, and it may still be going. It's just crossing over Sausalito right now. And it was the, let's see, it was the 8th RBI. It's 7th home run, 8th RBI for Jake Taylor right there in the half inning. And the Pacifics lead by a score of 3-0. We will go to the Vallejo Admirals half of the inning, and it will be Tyler Nordgren, CJ Maldonado, and Gadiel Baez when Mike and I come back right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Stuart Horn and Mike Shapiro here at Albert Park. Top 7, 3-0. Tyler Nordgren to lead things off, a .222 batter with 6 RBIs. It'll be 7, 8, 9 batters for the Admirals. Nick DeBar out there with that leading 84 strikeouts, throwing he's only seemed to get better as the night's gone along, as Nordgren takes across the knees, strike 1, Mike.
Well, and if you'll remember Nick's last outing, he gave up 2 runs in the first inning and did not look good at all. His fastball was up, and then that was the last they saw of a hit for about 7 innings.
Big breaking ball, chopped over to third base. Taylor's in on it, a strong throw off balance, got him. There's Taylor.
That's the play we haven't been able to find for the Pacifics until we got Jake, and it's that ball coming in It's a very, very difficult play to make.
Now
And,
batting
you know,
for Vallejo,
yes, you see it at the major league
27,
level. They make it 10
CJ
times out of 10.
Maldonado.
But in the indie leagues, that's a tough play, and you don't see it made as smoothly as Jake Taylor with as strong an arm as he's got.
He's got a cannon over there, and that, you're right, the strong throw is what made that play work. Here's C.J. Maldonado. 1 for 2 on the night. Maldonado, the left-handed batter, takes one in the dirt. 1-0.
But your point was well taken about DeBar. He just seems to be getting stronger and stronger as the game goes by. And if you think about throughout the history of baseball, some of the hallmark pitchers, they all had that quality. The Tom Seavers of the world, and they would all get stronger as the game went. So if you were going to get them, you got to get them in the first inning.
That's right, and that's exactly what it seems like tonight. DeBar's just getting bigger and badder as the night goes on. More intimidating even to the hitters, I would say, as Maldonado takes 1-1.
Well, he has that high riding fastball, and then he complements it with a sinker that is a fall off the table sinker when it's effective, and it starts looking at like it's a fastball until it gets to the plate, and then all of a sudden it disappears.
Baez on deck, and there's a breaking ball that fell off the edge, swung on and missed over the top. Maldonado behind in the count, 1-2.
And that was the pitch, and that's been Nick DeBar's bread and butter over the years. He's had that good fastball with a lot of movement on it, but his out pitch is that sinker that just drops off the table.
One away, Maldonado steps in to second. On the move is Kiriakos. And he can't handle it as he was ranging left into shallow right field. That would have been a tough play even if he had come up with it, because he was so far off balance, leaning away. And the very speedy Maldonado is safe at first on a base hit. Here's Gadiel
Now
Baez.
batting for the Admirals,
Plus,
number 8.
Maldonado is a
Gadiel
speedy guy
Baez.
for a short little, fire hydrant kind of body, and he's a catcher. You don't see a lot of speed out of catchers ordinarily, but he's a speedy guy.
He is.
And he's done a lot of damage to the Pacifics over the course of this year.
Gadiel Baez, a 9-hole batter, standing in 0 for 2 on the night. Chad Bunting on deck. One away here. A man on. That's Maldonado. 3-0 San Rafael. DeBar takes a little extra time and delivers up and away, ball 1.
Now, the automated strike zone from the last couple of nights, no doubt would have registered that as a strike. That ball, according to the rule book strike zone, that would have been a strike.
Well, my trusty sidekick, G2, and I have been discussing it all night, of course. The schools of thought on the whole thing. Up and away, 2-0. And, well, I heard you over on the radio side last night, and you were discussing the same thing with Vinny Longo about, here it is. Like you said, I was on my way back driving from Sacramento listening to you guys, and you said, if you want digital accuracy, what did you say? The camera don't lie. And that's so true. But do you want digital accuracy? Is baseball is the question.
Well, I do, and I'll explain why.
As a fastball is poured in and taken 2-1.
So here's the reason I give everyone who asks. The game is dictated by the count. It is the essential truth of baseball that the count influences the game. If it's a pitcher's count or it's a hitter's count, makes all the difference in the world, and it influences the outcome. And the question is then,
DeBar comes home, squares to bunt, pulls up the appeal, and it was a strike. 2-2.
So the key question is the essential determinant of the outcome of a game is defined by a rule book. And if that rule book says it's a certain strike zone, and yet over time the umpires have had the discretion to define the strike zone as they wish, who's benefiting by that, and who's being hurt by that? The people being hurt by that are the players, and that's just not right.
Baez slashes one foul out on an Anderson drive. We'll do it again, 2-2.
And I think objectifying the key element that determines the outcome of the game is far more important than anything in the game. And I think it's more important than videotape replay. I think it's more important when, they talk about the human element and all that. Well, I always say the human element is the players, not the umpires. It shouldn't be the umpire's decision to influence the game.
Of course, everybody, this is President and General Manager Mike Shapiro, one of the owners, President of the Pacifics, talking about the last couple of nights of robo-ump, and of course that is the imaging of the strike zone by a computer, triangulated by lasers for exact digital accuracy as the ball is delivered up and away. It's a full count now to Gadiel Baez. And all of the discussion over the last couple of nights, it's gone into this whole thing, whether or not it should be used at the professional level. And he walked Gadiel Baez. And now the Admirals have 2 on with just 1 away. And so that's the discussion. And go back for a second to the human element. And I think maybe even back a little further to the point you're talking about, how the count dictates. At any given moment, the count is dictating what's happening on the field. Ultimately, the outcome, as you said. But at any given moment, how the batter is thinking, how the pitcher is thinking, the alignment of the defense, the strategy from each coach, it means everything. And if you take away accuracy for the sake of what? Human element? I think you make a pretty good point. They use it in other sports for a reason. And what I've heard over the last couple of days is, but this is not other sports. This is baseball. This is America's pastime. Yada, yada, yada. But there was a play earlier tonight at first base where we certainly would have benefited from some sort of accuracy beyond the human element. Now, what do you think about that? If you take it, extrapolate that to the next part, if you take it now at home plate, what about then to the base paths?
Well, it already is. I mean, instant replay and I use the word instant advisedly. It's already being used.
And the first pitch to Chad Bunting is hammered to left field. Jeremy Williams is there.
By the way, you remember Chad Bunting?
2 away. Was he back in, who did he play for? The Stompers.
Pacifics. He played for the Pacifics in 2012.
Oh my gosh. Bunting was...
Well, you're getting old still.
First part of the season? Was he here with the first? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I remembered Bunting somewhere in my past.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because you and I used to talk about in the air about what a great baseball name, Chad Bunting.
Oh yeah. We've had a lot of fun with it. Here's Glenn Walker. Also not a bad baseball name.
No.
Walker. And Walker in there with 2 on and 2 down.
We could play that game.
Absolutely.
Cecil Fielder?
We've done it to death. Baldonado at second. Baez at first. Here's Walker. And he takes low and away. 1 ball on him. Yeah, it's been really interesting. And what I love about it is everybody has an opinion on it. And everybody has something different to say. And there's a good argument for both sides. You could certainly argue both ways. But I kind of like the idea of it being very accurate, especially when it's the Pacifics. When it's my team, I want it right. I just want the call right.
Well, for the entire purpose of the game of baseball, if you take it to the logical conclusion, and that is, again, as we were talking about, how important the count is. You just can't leave that to every umpire defines it for himself, and sometimes it changes during the course of a game.
You're right.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And the difference from one ump to the next, and people say, well, that's the beauty of it. That's the characteristic. I got a problem with that. The zone is the zone, and it should be the zone. 2 on. Here's Walker. Chop to third. Taylor. Got him. Oh, brother, does Taylor have a beautiful arm over there. It's so nice as a Pacifics fan to see a third baseman with whom I have great confidence, Mike. Both sides of the ball. I love it. Mike Shapiro has been our guest here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics. Thank you very much for sitting in, Mike.
Thank you, Stu. Always a pleasure. I love talking to you.
Likewise. We'll be right back, everybody. It's 3-0 San Rafael. David Kiriakos will lead things off for the San Rafael Pacifics here in the bottom of the 7th inning, 3-0. 3 runs on 5 hits for San Rafael. 7 hits for Vallejo, no runs to show for it, 3 errors. Check it. 2 errors. Here's Kiriakos. And a fastball across the knees is taken 0-1. It'll be Kiriakos, Pace, and Daniel Gonzalez. Bottom 7. And there's a little off-speed breaker taken 0-2. Oh, that was a nice pitch. Just up in the zone until it came into the hitting area, and then it dropped right through, and Kyriakos had to hold up. Kyriakos swings through and very quickly is gone on strikes. G2 is on his way to figure out who the new pitcher is for Vallejo, and he'll be back in just a moment with that information. But for now, it's Zach Pace, one away, as G2 is amassing the line on our new pitcher. Pace from the left side, reached on a fielder's choice back in the fifth, otherwise 0 for 2. And he takes a fastball away, 1-0. One away here, and G2 has the line on our new pitcher.
Well, the pitcher is Josh Evans. This is his 19th appearance. He's pitched 34 in the third innings on 38 hits, 16 earned runs, 8 walks, and 40 strikeouts.
Did you mention the ERA, son?
I did not. A 4.19.
4.19. Well, thank you very much. It's 1-1 to Zach Pace. 4.19 to Josh Evans, who comes in relief of Demetrius Banks. This is flared into right field. And he got it right off the end of the bat, and it just sailed over Josh Wong's head at first. And Zach Pace is aboard with Danny Gonzalez on his way to the hitting area.
Number 12, Daniel Gonzalez.
Sixth hit of the night for San Rafael. And here's Danny, who's 1 for 3 on the night. Shot into left field in his last at-bat, and Gonzalez takes 1-0. Chavez is on deck. Chavez is one of those guys, G2, that keeps fans around, you know. They look and they say, when's Chavez coming up? Kind of like Bonds did in the day. When's Bonds coming up? When's Chavez coming up? Breaking ball is taken, 2-0. Even fans who think, like a weeknight game, they think about leaving. No, I'm going to wait for Chavez to bat again. I want to see what he does. This is a line shot into the gap in left center, and that's down for base hits. That's up against the wall. Pace rounds third on his way, and the arms go up as the ball went under the fence, under the Bradley real estate sign. So the field umpire is going to go out to verify what happened. But it looks like it's a ground rule double. And Pace may have to go back to third. Gonzalez is definitely aboard at second. But since Pace started at first base, and there's a great camera shot, and they're going to call it a double. In fact, it rolled under the fence at the Bradley real estate sign. And that's too bad. Daniel Gonzalez got all the way around to third, but he's going to have to go back to second base.
You know, it's funny. Right as he hit that ball and right as it went into the air, I already started marking on my scorecard that Pace scored.
Yeah. Well, in fact, Pace is going to have to go back to third base.
For your Pacifics, number 8, Matt Chavez.
So the ground rule double for Danny Gonzalez will bring up Matt Chavez with 1 away. Now remember, fans, Chavez leads the league in home runs and RBIs, and I mean by a lot. He's number 2 in the league in batting average at .372. Coming into tonight's action, he's 1 for 3. But his last at-bat in the 5th, he came up with the bases loaded and only 1 out. And he takes here for ball 1. In that at-bat, Chavez K'd. And I think he's still a little miffed about those circumstances. 22 home runs, 61 driven in, 2 on, 1 down. Line shot to second, and there's a base hit. That's out into center. Phillips had played him in at second base, and Chavez just tears into one and picks up 2 more RBIs. And the Pacifics lead 5-0.
I don't think I've ever seen a ball hit that hard in my life.
Number 18.
Well, he's a big dude, and when he turns on it, it is, you're right, it's really something to behold. Here's Jeremy Williams. Oh. He just sort of inside outed it. 10 million miles an hour. Here's Williams.
On the season,
takes low.
RBIs 62 and 63.
1-0.
Chavez.
Williams, a 299 batter with 7 bombs and 35 driven in. 0 for 3 on the night with a pair of strikeouts. Chavez, the runner at first base with Hoba on deck. Low, 2-0. Five runs on 8 hits for San Rafael. And now they're starting to pour it on a little bit. And Williams takes 3-0, very low. All of a sudden, Evans looks a little rattled, the right-hander. Jeremy steps in, he's ahead in the count, and he walked him inside. Not close. You get a rally going, G2. A walk is always nice. Pour a couple walks in the middle of a rally. Never anything wrong with that. Third walk of the night issued by Admiral pitching. The first by Josh Evans. And now the slow walk from Templeton, too. And he's out there with the catcher, Tyler Nordgren.
Yes, Alex. I'd like, what a dilemma.
And they are going to have to talk this out. The Admirals are 17 and 33 overall on a 4-game losing streak. But they're not the type of team to throw in the towel. In fact, the Pacifics and the Admirals were in the championship, well, what turned out to be the championship game last year. Victorious, of course, with the Pacifics. But the Admirals took the Pacifics all the way down to the last day of the season. And on the very last day, the Pacifics squeaked by them up at Wilson Park. And here's Michael Hoba. And when the Pacifics did that, it was all she wrote. The Pacifics won the championship. And now here both teams are in 3rd and 4th place, respectively, in the Pacific Association. Hoba drills one into shallow left. That'll score Chavez, and the Pacifics lead 6-0. Hoba with an RBI continues to deliver. 2 for 3 on the night.
Now batting for
Williams
the
over to
Pacifics,
second base.
45, Jake Taylor.
And here's Jake Taylor.
Well, as Mike Shapiro was saying, the owner of the Pacifics, he was saying that Hoba is really starting to wake up, and he's been ice cold lately, but tonight he's 2 for 3 with a walk, and he's just looking much better.
Yeah, you're right. In fact, Hoba coming into tonight's action was 4 for his last 23. And now he's 2 for 3 on the night with an RBI, a run scored, a walk. And Hoba continues
that was RBI 27
to deliver. That was his 27th RBI for Michael. And Josh Evans is gone, and we'll have a new pitcher for Vallejo when we come back. G2 will have the info and the line, and we're going to take a quick break right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Well, Michael Hoba is still over at first base, and Jeremy Williams is still at second base. Still just 1 away, and still 3 runs in. What has changed? Admirals pitching. James Lopresti, the big right-hander, a 4.50 ERA. And here's G2 with the line.
He is 0-0. This is his 3rd game, and he has pitched 4.0 innings with 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, no strikeouts, and as you said, a 4.5 ERA.
Thank you very much, sir. Here's Jake Taylor. First pitch from Lopresti is a fastball swung on and missed. Now, if you remember, Taylor's last at bat, he sent one from Josh Evans, a fastball, over the center field wall, which is 20 feet high and 370 feet away, and it was still going up at the wall. big curveball is taken up and in. And it's 1-1. So for Lopresti to come in and face arguably the hottest hitter on the Pacific in the Pacific's lineup, certainly in the last inning and a half, he really hit a big home run his last at bat, and now Lopresti has to open things up against him.
I mean, you think about that light pole out in left center field is beyond the fence, and he hit probably 2/3 of the way up on that. That's just a bomb.
Yeah, it was way. You're right. It was way up there. That would have been a close to a 400-foot home run, I think.
Or more.
Or more. Taylor's a big guy, and he can really generate some club head speed for you golfers out there. Gingras is on deck. Taylor, 1-2. Lopresti looks a runner back to second. That's Williams. Takes a fastball high, 2-2. 6-0. San Rafael on top of the Admirals. Last home game for a while for San Rafael. They hit the road in Vallejo and then over to Sonoma for the next 6 games. And then we'll be back here on CMCM on August 7th, live from downtown San Rafael. It's a full count now to Jake Taylor. Taylor, 1 for 2 on the night. He had a walk, a fly ball, and of course the gigantic bomb. Gingras waits. Lopresti, the right-hander, has really slowed things down. And he doesn't like the signal that Tyler Nordgren has come up with. So Nordgren is forced to change things up. Lopresti comes set. Taylor rests the bat on the shoulders. The runners go. He skies one. And Nordgren comes over, and he missed it. Nordgren in foul ground on the first base side had a beat on it. But the breeze here at Albert Park got him. G2, I think that was the difference. He only missed it by 5 or 6 inches.
Yeah, definitely the wind had a factor in that. Seems right as that ball went into the air, the flag started blowing in left center field.
Well, there's a break for the Pacifics. And certainly for Taylor, who looked like Nordgren was going to get him. The count remains full. Lopresti, and the runners go again. And the fastball is taken, and he walked it. Good eye there by Taylor. That moves Williams to third and Hobart to second.
Number 25, Ricky Gingras.
So Lopresti comes in to face one batter, and he walked him. And he remains in for Gingras. Still just 1 out. That was the strikeout to David Kiriakos, who led things off. Of course, that was still Josh Evans on the mound at that time. But now Lopresti with the bases loaded, and Gingras with a long fly ball to center. Deep center. Bunting back. Looking up. Goal! A grand slam!
The Grand Salami.
Center field wall. Gingras with the big one. Williams scores, Hova scores, Taylor scores, Gingras. They all come in. G2, the scoreboard says 8-0. I have it 9-0.
Adrian Martinez.
I have 9-2. I think the last 7 batters have scored for the Pacifics.
9th batter of this half inning is Adrian Martinez. A grand slam from Ricky Gingras.
God, what a shot.
That was huge. Martinez, who's been known to hit the ball hard himself. Of course, he had a triple back in the second inning. That was to center field. He takes 1-0. Kyriakos, who started this whole thing with a strikeout, is on deck.
Scorekeeper's nightmare.
Takes it up and in, and it's 2-0. Why? Because we have to duplicate the line, you mean?
Yeah.
No big deal.
RBIs 21, 2, 3, and 4.
And now, hold it. Now the scoreboard says 10-0. We're going to have to check it. Hold it. I've got 10.
Yeah, I have 10
There's
too.
my 10. I got it. I was not looking at the home run by Jake Taylor's last time up. In fact, it's 10-0. And across the knees is taken, and it's 2-1 to Adrian Martinez. Martinez picked up his 18th RBI in the second inning with that triple. And Lopresti kicks and deals, and this is fouled back to the parking lot, 2-2. And it's funny, that was fouled right back into the area where the players park. There's a little private parking lot just in front of the stadium there, where the players and the staff people park. I park further away. I've been with the team 4 years. I know where you don't park, and you don't park where that one just came down. And this is popped straight up toward the Pacific's dugout. And reaching over the top is Tyler Nordgren with the play of the night, G2.
Oh my gosh.
2
What
down.
a play. Wow.
Nordgren leaps up, gets the arm
David
extended over the
Kyriakos.
fence, over the top of the Pacific's dugout, and reaches in and grabs it,
Fine
and
effort by the
Gonzalez is
Admirals
gone.
catcher, Tyler Nordgren.
2 down. Holy cow.
It's
Well,
almost
here's where it all started with Kyriakos.
it's almost like robbing a home run.
Well, it was kind of like that. Kyriakos, who struck out to start things 9 batters ago, stands in with 2 down, and a curveball is in the dirt, and it comes off of Nordgren's face mask. 1 ball on him.
You make a great play, and what do? You get hit in the face.
Yep. You want to be a catcher? That's what you get. You want to be a professional catcher, you're going to get hit in the face, even after you make a great play. And that's exactly what happened. Kyriakos stands in ahead in the count, 1-0. Lopresti. Fastball is slashed foul first base side, 1-1.
Kyriakos is really hitting the ball well tonight. Solid contact.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot to show for it so far, but you're right. It's so important to have somebody in the 9 hole who can turn on the ball. It's not like Little League where you usually, put your weakest hitter in the 9 hole. Here at the professional level, you got to have somebody who can do some damage, and a high strike is called. And now it's 1-2. And that's a very interesting little look there. If you look at the score, 10-0, getting late in the game, does the umpire say, it was a little bit high, we're going to call it a strike and move this thing along? That would never happen with the automatic umpire. And that's up and in, and Kyriakos not only buckled back, but it caught him on the wrist. So he's aboard as a hit batter.
Now batting for your Pacifics and sponsored by Alton Construction, 24.
And
Zach
here is Zach Pace. Pace with a single and a run scored his last time up. It was 0 for 2 otherwise, so 1 for 3 and a run scored. Had a fielder's choice back in the 5th. Got me a little confused there as Pace takes up and away. Lopresti having a little command issue here, G2.
Yeah, I don't know why the Admirals haven't taken him out yet. Seems a bit shaky.
Well, Lopresti's now his 7th batter since he's come in the same half inning. Pace takes away, and it's 2-0. And there is action in the Admirals bullpen. 10 runs on 10 hits for San Rafael. 7 hits for the Admirals, but nothing to show for it with Gonzalez on deck. Of course, we're in the bottom of the 7th inning, and the Pacifics have already put 7 across. In the 7th inning alone. Fastball across the knees is called a strike. 2-1 to Zach Pace.
The MLB trade deadline is tomorrow, and the Giants have just acquired Red starting pitcher Mike Leake for 2 minor leaguers.
Oh. Well. Giants are thinking seriously at this point in the season. Good. Pace chops one softly to third. Picked up by Walker. It's underhanded to the covering Phillips. And mercifully, I suspect, Kyriakos is called out to end things. So Pace hits into a 6 to the covering 4. And the Pacifics put 7 across in the 7th inning. Well, G2 and I will go to the top of the 8th inning. And it will be PJ Phillips, Josh Wong, and Lydell Mosby for the Admirals. 10-0 San Rafael when we come back right here on CMCM. Welcome back, everyone. 10-0 San Rafael. PJ Phillips will lead things off. 1 for 3 on the night. A couple of strikeouts, 1 looking. Wong on deck. He'll be followed by Mosby. Phillips, a .313 batter. Here in the top of the 8th. First pitch swinging. Skies it. Taylor third base. Coming in. He's got it 1 away.
As we said before, he could be the answer.
He has all the makings. He's got the arm. He's got the power at the plate. Josh Wong with 1 away.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for Vallejo. 33, Devin Ramirez.
And Devin Ramirez will hit in place of Josh Wong, and I suspect take Wong's place at first base. And you might want to look up some numbers on Ramirez for us, G2, and get back to me on that. Please, sir. DeBar's still out there just looking strong and seems to be throwing harder and harder as the game goes on. A fastball across the knees is taken, strike 1. Devin Ramirez in place of Wong.
Go ahead. Devin Ramirez is actually a pitcher, it says on this.
Uh-huh.
And he is hitting 100 with 10 at-bats, so he's 1 for 10 with no RBIs and no home runs.
And he fouls this one back off of the chest protector of Ricky Gingras. And it's 0-2. Devin Ramirez from the right side has a pretty good hack. Well, it is amazing to see how many pitchers are good hitters at the independent league level.
Well, I mean, in these blowout games, you don't really want to keep wasting your good position players, you know?
This is fouled back to Kirby Cove. And another pretty good hack there by Ramirez. Short, compact, move through the ball, squares up nicely, shifts his weight to the left side.
Nick DeBar's still going strong here in the 8th inning. He's pitching great.
He is pitching great. DeBar with that leading 84 strikeouts. And the lifts one does Ramirez to right field. Shallow right. And Kyriakos makes the play 2 away.
Now batting for Vallejo, 32, Lydell Mosby.
And Lydell Mosby makes his way out in the 8th with 2 away. Mosby is 0 for 3 on the night with a pair of strikeouts and 1 looking. Well, the Pacific's infield looks pretty relaxed, and well, they should be with a 10-run lead. And Nick DeBar throwing so beautifully as Mosby fouls one back to Kirby Cove. Jordan Berry is on deck. And Mosby, there he is. Mosby wears 32. That's O.J. Simpson's old number. Big, tall guy. Power slugger. Breaking ball. And this is back to Kirby Cove. Well, the kids out there in Kirby Cove are getting... There's a lot of balls going back there. There's not many kids out there left, though.
It's a little cold for that.
Yeah, at this point in the night, the Pacifics usually run Kirby Cove, which is the wiffle ball field behind the stadium. And the kids just love it. They go crazy for that. There's 100 kids back there during the game. It's so fun. But by about the 7th inning, they have to shut it down. And Mosby keeps fouling balls into the Kirby Cove area. And now all the kids are congregating, waiting for Mosby to deposit another one. He's been behind in the count 0-2 for a while. Barry on deck, and Mosby stands back in. 2 down, top 8. DeBar focuses, and the curveball is taken. Check swing, and they appeal, but it wasn't. It was barely a flinch. I'm not sure what Gingras was talking about. Gingras insisted on an appeal to the first base umpire, but it was not close. 1-2 to Mosby, the 326 batter. Got him looking. And the muted trumpet comes in to add insult to injury there, G2. And boy, oh boy. When you're at an independent league ballpark and you strike out, you are bound to feel even worse as soon as the sound effects hit you. We'll go bottom 8 now. The Pacifics in control of this one will be sending up Danny Gonzalez, Matt Chavez, and Jeremy Williams when we come back on CM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics. We'll be right back. Well, Tiger Peterson will be hitting first for San Rafael in the bottom of the 8th. On the mound for the Admirals is Ian Gray. In 22 games, he's pitched 35 2/3 innings, given up 37 hits, 32 runs, 22 earned, 17 strikeouts against 24 walks, and an ERA of 5.55. Now, with his play-by-play debut, is my partner, G2.
Here's Tiger Peterson. Coming in for Danny Gonzalez. Here's a pitch from Gray. And he fouls one back. Peterson is batting in place of Danny Gonzalez, by the way. And that pitch is just outside. Nice pitch there from Gray.
What kind of pitch was that? Could you identify it from here?
I believe that was a breaking ball, Stu.
Seemed like it.
Well, Tiger Peterson on the year is hitting 172 as he drives one deep, and that's a ground rule double. He just put a nice stroke on that one, Stu.
Well, I'll say he hammered it, and from my vantage point, G2, which is only 2 feet to the left of you, I thought that thing was out of here, but your eyes are so good, you identified the ground rule double. I thought it was bouncing around out there in the street.
Now batting for
Well, he just stayed inside that one and really turned on it and put a good swing on it.
Chavez.
He's not known for his power. He's known for his speed and his contact hitting, but he really drove that one.
Well, it could be that Ian Gray just laid something in there nicely for him, and he couldn't say no.
And here's the slugger Chavez. And Chavez hits one down the line and left. That one's going to go to the wall. Here comes Peterson. He will score easily. And Chavez into second with another ground rule double.
Well, 3 ground rule doubles on the night. That's extraordinary. But I've never seen 2 consecutively, G2.
Yeah, it's quite an odd occurrence. But here at Albert Park, the ball can squeak right underneath that fence, and it can be a ground rule double very easily.
Somebody scored there, I believe.
Your attention, please.
I do believe that was
Pitching
Tiger
for
Peterson.
your Pacifics, number 5, Johnny.
That makes it
Bakakis.
11-0. And here's Bakakis for the first time tonight. So see, Bakakis is in place of Jeremy Williams now. The last at-bat for San Rafael.
That one squeaks away from Nordgren, and Chavez just walks over to third base.
On the season, that is.
They don't give him a- you mean they don't give him a-
RBIs
a
now
stolen base for that?
Chavez.
I think that's a pass ball or a wild pitch.
I think that's a pass ball. He should have blocked that one.
I think you're right. A big league catcher needs to jump in the way of those. Consecutive ground rule doubles. That was weird.
Yeah.
I've never
very
once
odd.
seen that.
Well, Bakakis hitting .250 on the season with a home run and 20 RBIs in 44 games. Kind of lost his job to Jake Taylor. Oh, and there's a ball hit deep to left center field. That one's on its way. No, it's in play.
I thought it was another one.
It looks like he's standing outside the fence right now.
It really did.
That's really odd. Everyone at the ballpark thought that one was gone.
So what happened on the play?
So that's a double to left center field that scores Chavez very easily. And so 3 doubles in a row.
Wow. And the score?
The score is now 12-0 with a runner in scoring position.
Who's up?
Michael Hova steps into the box, and he hits one to the right side. That one's going to get through. Bakakis is going to hold up at third base, and Hova, with his 3rd hit of the night, he's really heating up, Stu.
It's great to see Hova doing well, too. He went into a mini slump.
Now batting
Coming
for
into
your
tonight's
Pacific,
action, he was 4 for his
45,
last 23.
Taylor.
And just not Hova-like. But as you said, 3 hits on the night so far tonight. Hova's been just beautiful. Couple runs scored. Now with runners at the corners, Ian Gray has really got his hands full.
Well, he really went with the pitch there. He reached for that outside pitch and took it right to right field. That's a great piece of hitting. Here's Jake Taylor. And he drives one deep to center field. And that will be put away as Bakakis tags up and scores from third base.
Good play by Chad Bunting as he drifted over to his left toward the wall and hauled it in. In this crosswind, it can get weird
Now
out
batting
there,
for your
but
Pacifics,
boy, oh boy, G2, the
25,
Pacifics
Ricky
are teeing
Gingras.
off on Ian Gray. First pitch out of the gate from Hova, from Bakakis, from Chavez, and who knows, and from Taylor.
So here's Ricky Gingras, who hit a grand slam to deep center field in his last at-bat as he takes one down and away.
Williams scored, that makes it 13-0. Holy cow.
What a game.
Well, if you're a Pacifics fan, you gotta love it.
And he takes one down and inside. God, Gingras hit that ball. I've never seen Ricky Gingras hit a ball that far. He really smoked that one.
The slam, you mean?
Oh, yeah, the slam.
Yeah. No, that was something else.
And that one's down in the dirt, blocked by Tyler Nordgren.
Could you identify that pitch?
I believe that was breaking ball down in the dirt.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's trying to set him up with something here, as much as Ian Gray has motivation to set anybody up with 13 run deficit. But yeah, this could be maybe some high cheese right here.
And a 4-pitch walk.
A little too high on the cheese. Too much cheese.
Too much cheddar. You know, that last at-bat from Jake Taylor, that's what really excites me about this kid. He got the job done, and he hits a fly ball and gets the run in. That's just great.
Yeah, you're right. He hit it well, but he didn't seem like he was overswinging, especially following up the grand slam. You know, not trying to show off or anything. Just getting the job done, get that runner in. That's a good call.
And here's Adrian Martinez.
Hova did move over to second base on the walk to Gingras.
Martinez takes low and in.
You go back, Martinez's night has been sort of interesting in that he's 1 for 4 on the night, but the one was a 2 RBI triple back in the second. And then he reached on an error in the 5th and then advanced on an error in the 5th. And it really looked like the Pacifics were going to have something going.
Which is odd because that's the only time that they haven't scored pretty much.
Yeah.
When they had opportunities, of course. Because they've really capitalized when they had runners in scoring position tonight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All except that 5th inning when they had 2 on and nobody out.
And he takes one low and away.
Count?
Count is now 3-0, and that's 7 balls in a row now thrown by Gray. He's got to find something here.
No action. Yeah, little. There's a left-hander up in the Admirals bullpen now.
Oh, 8 balls in a row.
Yeah.
As Adrian Martinez draws the walk, and that brings up David Kyriakos.
With the bases loaded again. So the Pacifics have had the bases loaded 3 times tonight. One of those times resulted in a grand slam by Ricky Gingras. That was back in the 7th. Templeton, too, is making his way out to the mound to say goodnight to Ian Gray, who was not good.
No.
Gray came in, gave up 3 earned, a walk, 3 hits in 7 batters. And just a tough night. You want to be a pro ball player. Not every single night is going to be, the greatest night of your life. It's going to be tough a lot of the time. And that's just what happens. So it looks like the Admirals will bring in a new pitcher. And when we have the line on that new guy, which will be just a moment, we'll be right back. For now, we're going to take a quick break on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics. We'll be right back.
And we're back here on CMCM's 2015 coverage of the Pacifics. And here's David Kyriakos. And he takes a strike. Well, this potentially could be the second inning where the Pacifics bat around the order, which could be interesting.
The new pitcher, by the way, is Derek Mitchell. And in 19 games, Mitchell has pitched 27 innings, 36 hits,
5 walks, 20 strikeouts, a 4.0 ERA.
And there's a pop-up to the right side. Giving chase, and that's going to be a foul ball.
Who was giving chase?
Josh Wong was giving chase on that one.
You know Josh Wong at first base?
Excuse me, Devin Ramirez.
Very good. So late in these games, sometimes, especially blowout games, players come in place of others, and that's when the scorecard gets weird. Good job. Breaking ball is up and away. Looked like it.
And it's 2-2 now to David Kiriakos.
Kiriakos is hitless on the night.
Oh, and he hits a shot to right field, and it's going to be tracked down by Lydell Mosby. Coming in to score is Mike Alhova as Ricky Gingras and Adrian Martinez stay put on the play. He really gave that one a ride, Stu.
He did. He hit it into that crosswind and may have knocked it down a little bit, but he got good wood on it. Now it's 14 zip. 2 down.
And here's Zach Pace, the 2012 MVP, or excuse me, 2014 MVP of the 2014 champion Pacifics, as he hits a foul ball down the first baseline.
Pace really turned on it. He just turned an instant too soon.
Fine effort there by Tyler Spencer.
First base coach for the Pacifics is Tyler Spencer, who shifted to his left, trying to get that foul ball and couldn't come up with it. Just FYI. I don't know if we had a camera on it, but missed it.
And the 0-1 to Pace, and he grounds one to first base. That's going to be a foul ball.
And now the fans give Spencer a round of applause. He was able to get that one. Spencer's out there having a good time with it.
And it's 0-2 to Zach Pace. He's down in the count quickly.
Two away with Gonzalez on deck.
Here's the pitch. And Pace swings and misses for a strikeout to end the inning.
Well, that's the end of the opportunity for the Pacifics. So they've done everything that they can do. Only 14 runs on 14 hits. And they've pushed the Admirals to the limit. They've got 3 outs with which to work, or the Pacifics are going to have another win, which would push them to 25-25. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, G2, but if I were a betting man, I would say the Pacifics have a pretty darn good chance. They've got 3 outs left for the Admirals and a 14-run lead. When we come back, we'll have the Admirals' last chance at it, right here on CMCM's coverage of the 2015 Pacifics. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Kyle Heyman will lead things off here in the 9th inning for the Vallejo Admirals. On the mound for San Rafael is Dan Rogers, Chuggy, affectionately known as Chuggy, the big right-hander, the junk ball king by all accounts. Remember Chuggy's first night on the mound for San Rafael a couple of years back. Mike Shapiro and I were on the radio side that night calling that game. First pitch to Kyle Heyman is taken for a strike. That night, Chuggy, in his Pacifics debut, 7 strikeouts, 31 pitches. A record that still stands as Heyman takes a breaking ball. 0-2. Rogers, one of those guys, wears the socks high, the way G2 and I both like. In the dirt, 1-2. And he's just been one of those guys that has come through for the team time after time. Part of the championship 2014 season, a big part of that. A good run in 2013 where the Pacifics lost to the Maui Nakoi Kaika on the last day of the season. But Rogers has been such a huge part of the organization. And taken outside 2-2 to Kyle Heyman. There we are. I don't know where that camera is, but I like the distant look. Fouled back on Anderson Drive. And you have the line on Chuggy?
I do. This is his 15th game. He's pitched 20 2/3 innings on 30 earned runs, 23 earned runs on 34 hits, 11 walks, 17 strikeouts, with a 10.01 ERA.
Nordgren is on deck, and he gets him with a changeup. One away. Good old Dan Rogers. Yeah, he's had a tough year now. But that was vintage Rogers right there.
Tyler Nordgren.
You just set him up. One low after the 2 strikes, then low, then high, then a masterful changeup. And now a visit from Matt Cavanaugh. And this could be it. And in fact, it is. As Rogers is now retiring.
Attention, please.
And we'll turn it over to Mark Carlson in the
Dan
overhead.
Rogers has been a staple in the Pacific's bullpen, clubhouse, and the Marin County community for nearly 3 years. Tonight, Dan has announced his retirement from professional baseball. In his debut with the Pacifics on June 28, 2013, Dan was called upon in relief in the 8th inning and proceeded to set a Pacific Association record which might never be broken by striking out 7 consecutive batters on just 31 pitchers to earn the first of his 7 career wins. On behalf of the entire Pacifics family and all Pacifics fans, we wish to thank Dan for all of his contributions to his team, his teammates, and this community. Number 32, Dan Rogers.
Well, there it is, folks. Rogers announces his retirement. One of the great guys in the Pacific Association, and certainly one of the great guys for the Pacifics themselves. He has come in relief so many times and gotten the job done. And he wanted to go out on top, and he wanted to go out the right way. And you can see him making his way there toward the dugout through all the guys, and a very emotional moment
Somehow
for
very
Chuggy.
fitting that after Dan's debut of 7 consecutive strikeouts, his final appearance tonight was a strikeout.
And he manages to get
Congratulations, Dan.
Kyle Heyman on a strikeout with a masterful changeup to end his career here at Albert Park in professional baseball, and a very emotional moment for Chuggy. And
Your attention,
here he is
please.
right
Now
below us
pitching
now,
for your Pacifics,
and
number 14,
embracing with his mother,
Michael
who threw out
Kushner.
tonight's first pitch. And Rogers, one of the great guys on the team, that's for sure. Oh, I hate to see him go. But there you go. That's the way it happens. And he went out on top, and he wanted to get it with an out. And as it turns out, he got it with a strikeout. And it was a beautiful work of art, in fact. Not just a strikeout, but a masterful work of art, the way he did it. So he goes out on top. And you, G2, mentioned the retirement of Chris DiBiase, who also wanted to go out on top, so he waited until he got a base hit and then announced his retirement at that moment. And we commented many times what a classy, cool way to go out that was, and Rogers did it the same way, and hats off. And it looks like Tyler Nordgren is up and hitting and swinging, and a ground ball to Kyriakos at second base, and there are now 2 away. 14-0. C.J. Maldonado is going to be the last gasp for the Admirals.
I don't believe this is a save
Now
situation to
batting
use.
CJ.
No,
Maldonado.
and the pitcher for the Pacifics, who took over for Rogers, is a big, tall right-hander, and it looks like Kirshner, but I'm not sure. And G2 will check that as Maldonado swings and misses. Strike one. Should Maldonado reach, Gadiel Baez is on deck. And it is, in fact, Kirshner. And he delivers low, 1-1. And we have hopefully just enough time to check the line on Kirshner, who we haven't seen much of. In fact, this is his CMCM debut on TV tonight for this season. Of course, he was with the club last year. Maldonado 1-1, fouls one out on the Anderson drive. The numbers for Kirshner are?
Well, Stu, he is 1-1 with a 3.85 ERA in 14 innings of work. This is his 15th game. He's offered up 8 hits on 6 earned runs, 9 walks, and 18 strikeouts.
Admirals down to their final strike. Kirshner, the big right-hander, against C.J. Maldonado. Maldonado is 2 for 3 on the night. And he fouls it back to the screen. Off-balance hack. We'll do it again.
Just trying to keep the game alive for the Admirals. Not much hope.
Yeah, not much hope, but you never want to end it. 14 runs on 14 knocks. Those are good numbers for San Rafael. 7 hits is not bad.
Well, for a while there, we had more runs while the
And the high breaking ball is a late punch out, and Maldonado goes down looking.
7 hits and 2 errors. They leave 8 on base. For your Pacifics, 14 runs, 14 hits.
For the
no errors.
Pacifics,
They also leave 8
who
on
moved
base.
to 25 and
The
25.
losing pitcher is Demetrius Banks.
Demetrius Banks, the
winning
loser,
pitcher is
and Nick DeBar
He evens his record
picks
at
up
4-4.
his 4th win.
We hope you enjoyed
and puts
tonight's
him at
ball game.
4 and
Please look
4.
around your seating area for your
What a
belongings.
tremendous
On behalf
night.
of the San Rafael
A lot of home
Pacifics,
runs.
We thank you for visiting.
A lot of
Albert Park.
long
And
ball.
hope to see you
I
again
love
in
the
near
7th
future.
inning when the Pacifics
Please remember to
score
buckle up on the way
7,
home.
including the
And
grand
remember,
slam
parties have
by
too
Ricky
much to drink.
Gingras.
We ask you
Well,
to
everybody, we had a great night
contact
here,
your
and hope you
Pacifics staff
had
member
fun
to call
spending
you
your
again.
evening with the Pacifics
Have a safe
and
ride
with
home, everyone.
G2 and
good
myself
night.
here in the opulent CMCM broadcast booth. So our next telecast will be August 7th. We'll be right back here. And on your TV set, Channel 30, AT&T 99 for G2 and the rest of the crew at CMCM. Thank you very much for spending your evening with us and the Pacifics. The Pacifics win 14-0, and they're back to 500. See you on the 7th, everybody.